Dobre páni, ideme na to, ideme to prúdiť. Ako povedz kontrola zvukovú stopu, radšej vidieť, čo odsýpa, ako má. Dobre páni, ideme na to, ideme to prúdiť. Asi si nespustím, ne, asi nepôjdeme na pavúkov. Daj manažéra, chcem ešte stihnúť zlatú generáciu, chcem hľadať. Dobre, takže ideme na to, začíname 875. Začíname 875. relaxačný tréningový deň, je 12.4.2026, je nedela, to sú 3 série klikožrutov a 3 série zhybožrutov. Zhybožrutý 15-15, 14-14, 13-13, predné, zadné, predné a predné, zadné. Klikožrutý 100, 90, 80, púšťame piču sa speeda ako podmas, začíname 19.04. Zhybožrutý 15-15, predné,
Alright guys,
zadné.
since the update has been out, I am finally back and I can give you guys some more information on the evasion/hit, because there's been a lot of questions regarding, is there a cap, is there a hard cap, how does it work, do I need to lower my hit now, do I need to lower my evasion, all that stuff. So we're gonna jump right into it and just explain you guys very easily, so you don't have to get confused, because I see a lot of people getting confused around this stuff. So I'm gonna explain it as easy as possible. Now, if you guys want a full in-depth video, I know Lucky Black Hat made a video on this. So if you guys want a more in-depth testing, you guys can go check him out. Overall caps and understanding of it, I'm going to make it extremely simple so you guys don't have to worry. Now, we're going to be using this table from the Google Doc of Black Hat to make it super easy for you guys to understand. Where is it? Boom, this thing right here. Only thing you guys have to pay attention to is the hit and evasion and the CC hit and CC resist. The reason for that is because hit and evasion and crit endurance works very different. So this is just makes it a little bit more confusing, because hit and evasion is RNG based, right? If you have high enough evasion, you can evade attacks, while crit and endurance works if you have high enough endurance, you cannot get critted. So it's not the same concept. So these two things makes very little sense, because once you hit higher stats than the enemy player, this doesn't work. So that's why we're going to pay attention to hit and evasion and CC hit and resist. Now, this is what you guys need to know. Simple, easy, no crazy stuff. If you had and have 5,000 evasion,
100 klikožrutov, 100 klikov.
right? If you have 5,000 evasion and the enemy has 3,500 hit, nothing changes. There's no changes. You can go as high hit as you want. There's no hard cap. There's no 4.5k, no 3k cap on your evasion. You can go all the way to 10,000. It does not matter. The thing is, if you have 5,000 evasion and the enemy has 3,500 hit, that's 1,500 difference, right? Nothing changes. So they will have a pretty high chance to hit you, like 40, 30, 33%, something like that. You can already put this in the calculator on Questlog. But if this was the scenario before the update and after the update, no changes at all. Same goes if they have 6k hit, or if you have 6k hit and somebody has 3.5, nothing changes. 2.5 difference in the open world. So what really changed? Now, what changes in the last roundtable, we talked about evasion being extremely overpowered, and for new players not being able to hit players at all because they run so much evasion and people don't run hit. Now, when does this matter? If somebody has this, right? Nothing changes. But this is when it changes. Because if you have this, and then it is a 4,500 difference. So if you have 5,000 evasion and the enemy is new player or has very low hit, this 4,500 difference, before the update, they will barely be able to hit you. But now, depending on the content that you do, they will have, in Battlegrounds, a 33% chance to hit you in BG, and a 25% chance to hit you in World. That's the only thing that changed. So it's only for players that have way lower hit than you, stats than you, then in BGs or in the open world, they will have a chance to hit you. So nothing changes for people that have already high hit and high evasion. It all depends on the cap, right? It's a 2,000 cap in BGs. That's all you need to know. It's a 2,000 cap in BGs. 2,000 cap in BGs. That's it. So all you want to make sure is if you have lower than a 2,000 cap, Eva, 1,000 hit. If you're in BGs, if you have anywhere lower than this, it would automatically make it a 33.3% in BGs. That's it. So you can stack your evasion as much as you want. Is it necessary? Not really, because it's only helping against people that have high hit, right? So the really hardcore players probably run like 3K to 4K hit, right? That in that case, you want to have, if they're running like 3,000 to 4,000, let's say they're running 3,000 hit, which is pretty high. If you're running 6,000 evasion in Battlegrounds, remember this is Battlegrounds, just to make sure, there's 1,000 of the evasion is wasted here, right? Because they don't have high enough either. But if there was a 5K, nothing changes. So the question is, what should you build inside of the game? How should you do it? Now, unfortunately, because of these changes, that means you need more builds. If you like doing arena, or you like doing open world, you like doing BGs, if you like doing all of them, you have to build several builds. And what do I mean with several builds? Now, for example, now we're just using hit. If you are running Battlegrounds, right, and you have 3,000 hits on your build, for example, that means that you can hit people up to like 4,900. We're going to do evasion because at 5K, the 2K cap is like no longer there. So it's like a waste. So what you could do is you can lower your hit in Battlegrounds. Right? You can lower your hit on purpose. You can lower it to 1K hit, for example. That way you will always hit people with a 33.3% if they have above 2K. You can even run no hit. You can run 0 hit. And that means you can still hit people 33% of the times, no matter what evasion they have. If they have 5,000 evasion, if they have 6,000 evasion, if they have 4,000, 3,000 evasion, if they have 2,000 evasion, you can still hit them in Battlegrounds 33% of the time. In the open world, however, you will only hit them 25% of the time, right? Are we understanding now? So you can build 0 hit and know that you'll be hitting them 33% of the time in Battlegrounds and 25% of the time in the open world. Now, in Arena, you will be hitting them 40% of the time in Arena, right? That's just how the formula works now. So it is not a waste having high evasion. It is just to make sure that it will only counter people that have high enough hits too, right? But if they have 0 hit and they have lower hit than the cap, they will always hit you. That's like, this is a guarantee. They will always hit you 33% of the time in BGs. Always hit you 25% chance in the open world. While before, you could probably have pushed this number to like 15% or lower, right? Like 15% or lower possibly back in the day, but now you can't. So these are the only things you need to know. So you can make builds for open world to take advantage of the bigger difference. Or you could not build hit at all if you don't want to and invest in other stats like crit damage or heavy attack damage or whatever, critical hit, whatever. So it is up to you, right? How much you want to build a hit. What you also could do, right? What you also could do in the game right now is you can build, right? You can build 2,500 hit, for example, right? You can build 2,500 hit. That way, this is for Battlegrounds, by the way. I'm not open world is a different formula, same thing. But for Battlegrounds, remember, with 2.5K hit, you'll be always able to hit people with 3,000 evasion or 3,500 evasion or 4,000 evasion, right? Because it's like the cap is basically increasing, but the second you hit somebody with 5,000 evasion, Eva, this hit is useless because then you will automatically do 33%. Are we understanding? So just know that if you are within the cap of 3,000 here, if they have higher evasion, if they have 3,000 higher evasion in the open world, you will always just do 25% hit. If they have higher than 2,000 evasion than your hit, you will always hit 33%. So you could play around by getting lower evasion, knowing that you don't have enough
Ideme to
high
doraziť.
hit anyways.
Posledná tretia
But it
séria.
all depends on what the
80
players are
klikov, čo
running.
to 80
It is
klik
still useful
80.
to run high evasion. Because if you're running high evasion, you know that it is a limit to 33% in battlegrounds or 25% in the open world. All right? But is it, you kind of have to calculate, like, is it useful for you? Or do you not care at all? You know, so do you rather want to invest this into endurance? You want to get maybe more defensive stats? Or are you okay with people hitting you 33% of the time in the BGs? And 25% of time in the open world. That's the main thing you want to take into account, right? So maybe building high crazy evasion is not worth it. Maybe building high enough hit is not worth it. This is something that people are going to calculate, work on. I'm going to be working on certain builds too to see, like, do I really need to run hit in, for example, BGs? I feel like in arena, I don't even have to run any hits.
Oh, je za nami. Je to za nami. Zrekapitulujeme si to. 875. 875. relaxačný tréningový deň za nami, bola nedeľa 12.4.2026. Skončili sme 19.16, všetci máme rovnaký čas, 19.16. Segment bol dlhý, trval 13 minút a 20 sekúnd.